Hey y'all, this is TCA Gaming, and in this video I'm going to show you guys a few things that I picked up in Vegas, but not from Gary. And then I'm going to show you guys part of a CGC return, and we're going to open up some stuff at the very end. So we'll start off with this right here. These decks that I'm getting ready to show you I got from Chumley. I don't think I've shown it to you, but if I have, I'm sorry that I'm showing the same stuff again. But pretty cool. Got the Thunderstorm theme deck here. Does have a little bit of a break in the seal right there, but overall still pretty original. He had a side room beside of his card shop that he took us into. He had stuff laying everywhere, and he had a stack of theme decks, and we ended up making a deal for some of these. There's the Aquapolis. He had a blackout gold strip one. Gold strip has pretty much always been guaranteed shadowless. Never opened one that wasn't anyways, and a lot more recognizable than the heat seal. And then we had a Mind Machine and a Sky Ridge theme deck, so pretty cool there. Glad I was able to pick up some of them, and I do have some other sealed product back here that I picked up, but those were the coolest items. This was also something that I got from his shop, the only modern thing that I picked up. They were my kids and Gary and Chum, they were all opening up like Labubu's and stuff. Pop this out here. Main reason to get this deck is for this is a Pikachu. Hopefully it's in decent shape. We'll hit the pull tab. So this Pikachu right here. The other stuff that kind of comes with it, I do think the coin's kind of neat. You got the sleeves, but again, for the most part, it is for this one card. You've got a Pikachu, and then there's also a World Champ card. Sometimes these Pikachus have a little bit of damage to the top of them. We'll see with this one. Hopefully it does not. So what I look for, is there any nicks right here on the bottom? I don't see any, so this will likely grade very well. Very easy card to grade. I think it's beautiful. It's for the 2023 World Championships. It's a Pikachu EX. It's actually stamped World Championships 2023. It's one of those cards that it was really quite available for a long time. Even now, not too bad, but the rest of the cards in the deck, there's really not much to say about it. I mean, you might have a few reverse hollows that could have a little bit of value, but I've graded several of these and did okay selling them. They're pretty easy, pristine tins as well. But yeah, so thanks Chum for selling me that. He had two of them. He only wanted to sell one. He knew what I was doing. He was like, "Man, you're gonna burn me. You're gonna just bust that thing open." Also, check it out. Did get this in on consignment. Got a Stadium Deoxys blister pack. I did list this as damaged. Somebody said that it wasn't. I don't know. It kind of looks like damage to me. But they said that's just like a natural lip that's used to pull off. But I think it has been pulled a few times. I mean, it just seems a little bit more loose than it should be. So I left it as damage. And if it's not, and you guys know better, then that's just a bonus for you. See, it does have a little bit just fuzziness right there. Yeah, it looks like it's been bent a little bit. So, but yeah, going pretty good so far. Over, I'm not sure what the value is supposed to be at, but it's at like 3,500 or so. I did pick this one up off of eBay. I had a friend reach out, Radar. He had some cards, and he had a dark Persian, a few dark Persians that he wanted to sell. I don't know if he moved them or not. I ended up passing, but I went ahead and bid on one on eBay just to see where they're at. I did win this one for a pretty good price, at least what I thought it was anyways. But yeah, missing the no HP, or it's missing the HP, 60 HP. So this is the no 60 HP version. Not terribly hard to find. They seem to come through in waves, like people have. I remember buying from a WotC employee one time who had like a page or two of them. Same thing with like the Dark Dragonite. I think that's because a lot of times if you get a box with some of those, you can get several in a box. But I'd love to see one of these mounted on a flyer. But if you're looking to pick up a missing 60 HP Dark Persian, Radar may still have some available. He had some 7s, and I think he has some 8s as well. Alright, so here is the CGC submission. I'm going to show you guys pretty much the best cards from the submission. There wasn't a lot of variety, so I submitted several of these again, did pull some pristine 10s. Pristine was never my top stack. So when you see, this pristine Mega Lucario EX, there were a lot of 10s, likely lower grades as well. I did submit several of the Mega Charizard X EX and YEX. Managed to pull pristine on a few of them. These come from those 10s. Thought it was an easy card to submit. And then I had some random cards. We have a Eevee Reverse Holo from Scarlet and Violet. Pulled the 9. I only submit cards that I hope that have a good shot at a 10, but sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. All right, we had Pokemon Day. Pikachu, a lot of these I submitted. And I did see where the PSA 10, there's one in auction now for over $800. So I don't know where those are going to end, but got a few pristines, got some regular Gem Mint 10s as well. Got a Magmortar. Got the Electivire and Magmortar. You got the other one too. It's like an Electivire card. 10 there. Got a pristine 10 on the Zacian V. All of these are single submission. Got a Numel 10. Team Rocket's Mimikyu 10. Got the Budew. Pulled the pristine on the Salazzle from Ascended Heroes. Got the Gem Mint 10 on Galarian Obstagoon. Same thing with the Dracloak. And the Mega Dragonite EX. Then we have N's Zekrom pulling the pristine 10. That's from the Elite Trainer box. Got a pristine 10 on the Banette. And then last but not least, we have the Blastoise from Pokemon Go pulling a pristine 10. So overall pretty good on the one-off cards. The submission itself was pretty good. All right, and then last, what we're going to do for this video, we're actually going to open up some red logo fossil packs. And so we're looking over this a little bit more. I'm going to show you guys some of the things that I'm not going to be able to show, like the 15-degree magenta parts. But so if we're looking at, say, this right here, this Nidoqueen, I'm going to pull it out a little bit. All right, so he's written on this. You can see cyan overlay. See if we can zoom in. And then stick around with me and we'll open up these packs. So where it was saying cyan overlay, what it's referring to, if you look right here, see how far it'll zoom in. Look around the 90 HP. How you have, it's almost like a darker red, kind of outlining the 90 HP. I'm going to show you one for comparison. So here's one from Fossil. See how this doesn't have that? It's almost like it's like white. 40 HP. So this is one of the differences that he's talking about here. And what I find cool about this, a lot of these cards been able to narrow down to a single print. I assume from like uncut sheets or maybe pulling them from packs, that kind of deal. All right, right here. So this says yellow under UV. I don't have a UV, but I imagine that's going to be pointing towards the border itself. And this is third print stamp. So the stamp is going to be a little bit different from a regular jungle stamp. And then you've got the -15 magenta. So I don't think we can zoom in hard enough with this to be able to see it. Sometimes, if your eyes are really good, you might be able to see it. But if you start looking at that shadow right there, you're going to see how it almost looks like you've got pixels or something going on. And so what he's comparing, man, this is zooming really good. It's hard for me to hold it. Oh yeah. All right, so this is probably very shaky at this point, because especially since I'm talking. But all those little dots that you're seeing, they can compare the angles and look at this stuff to see if something is like a standard angle for how they're supposed to be. Because these right here, they're kind of going. Let's zoom back out. They're going at like a specific degree angle. This one's -15, but also like the colors that are used. So anytime you see that kind of thing, that's what it's referring to. At least that's a very dumbed down version of it. This guy could probably explain it a lot better. It's like he has this one labeled 1999 2000, even though it's just regular 1999. Now I'm going to point to something here on the back. So this is saying it's plus 15 magenta on the back side. So if we zoomed in there, this is a USA 2000 plus jungle. Even though it's 1999, it can be traced to a jungle print that's 2000 plus. And this isn't my research. I'm just kind of showing you guys what he can see here. This is a UK1 Games. UK1 Games and Prime. I'm not even sure what that means. I assume it's saying this from like a UK print. There is something pretty cool I want to show you guys. This is a USA Chroma Stick. I can't quite read that. Unconfirmed Yakiro. Let me show you one of these that's missing like this little part in the E. So like if you look at this E right here, look on the inside little half moon thing, you can see a little, it's slightly dark. It's like there's shade on the inside of it. Whereas, let me see if I can find one without it. Oh yeah. Belgian arrow, that's what he calls it. So look right here, this one doesn't have it. See how like the little blue half moon, well not half moon, like hemisphere or semicircle on the inside of the E, it doesn't have that shaded part in the E, where this one does. See that shaded part on the top corner? This one has it, or that one has it, this one does not. And that was something that you can see with the eye that was found, and I assume that by what he has here, where it talks about the Belgium era, like it's just linked to this specific print of it. But yeah, third print symbol, plus 15 magenta. It's I find it fascinating that, like, I don't know how much it matters, like if you're trying to talk price wise or anything like that, how much any of this really matters price wise, but being able to map out all these different cards and the releases and being able to say what exact print they come from is pretty cool. It's very in-depth, takes a lot of knowledge to do, and I think that maybe one day, you know, PSA can have some kind of system that automatically detects those types of things, and we can get labels that more accurately say where a card come from. Because, you know, for the longest time, they didn't identify 1999, 2000 for fossil or base set. And, you know, that's something that actually states the date directly on the card, but they didn't designate it. So you had all these different print runs that were very obvious to people. Even like with this, where's that? This Tempest deck, I mean, you've got 5 cards in here that are going to have 1999, 2000 on them. And it's the 5 fossil cards. You're going to have the Holo Zapdos, you'll have the Raichu for the rare, Golduck, and then you have Psyduck, and I think like Energy Search, something like that. And those 5 cards, they don't come from Australia. They don't come from packs like these. So, and the Zapdos is the only holographic that you get with 1999, 2000 dates. And this is for the English language anyways. But anyways, we could go on, you know, go really in depth to that kind of thing. I'm going to open up these packs and let you guys see what we have in here. I'm hoping for a Dragonite or a Gengar. We'll just have to see what we get. I think it's 3 off the back. I can't remember though. I might have just put. Okay, all right. So we have Ghastly, and as you can see, let me zoom in here. These actually say 1999, 2000. Let's see if the E's on the back side. Yeah, yeah, those E's have the shade in it. All right, so we have a Ghastly. We have Arbok, Golbat, Psyduck. And see the Psyduck, the difference between this Psyduck and the Psyduck you find in here is going to be the surface. This is going to have like a glossy surface. But, you know, according to the guy who sent this stuff, there's probably other differences as well that we'd be able to tell. But the ones that I knew were just kind of like this glossy surface that you see. That was the easiest way to tell. Geodude, Gambler, and got a Lapras. The one we don't want is Raichu, because Raichu you can get from the deck, and the main thing, if somebody's collecting the 1999-2000 set, they are more going for the fact that it says 1999 2000. There are some collectors who do want both the gloss, like the version that has like this gloss on it, and then the other version which can come from the Tempest deck, which doesn't have that. All right, pack number 2. So these are not heavy, so they're not going to have hollows, because I want cards that have, I do have heavy red logo packs, but I want, I'm going to get it to zoom, I want the cards to say 1999 2000, but if you pull a hollow from red logo fossil packs, it won't have the 1999 2000 designation. And these were from that sealed box that I busted a little while back. I'd actually graded these and decided, instead of selling the graded pack, I'm just going to open the packs, grade the cards, and sell that, because I think there's more money in it now that I've gotten rid of all of my 1999 2000 fossil non-hollows. Kabuto, there's the Psyduck again, Shelter, Ammonite, Energy Search, Krabby, and got a Zapdos. So not too bad there. Of course, not the Gengar or the Dragonite I was hoping for, but still got a legendary bird. This one seems to be in better condition than the Lapras, so that's good too. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Hope you weren't too bored by my rambling and lack of knowledge on this stuff. I've been trying to understand it the best I can, but a lot of times I get caught up in just listing stuff, sending stuff to PSA, talking to you guys, and I forget to do a video, so I apologize for that too. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll have another one hopefully within a week. Thanks.